Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm sitting here trying to do stuff. I shouldn't be doing stuff.
Do stuff to do stuff.
Doing stuff to better do stuff. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta do stuff. If you don't do stuff, you can't do stuff.
You can't do stuff if you don't do stuff, right? You just can't. It's just way. Let's see how fast he can keep up with us. We just go right back and forth, and he'll just make him go. You're driving me crazy, man. You're driving. Oh, he cheated.
Split view.
He's cheated.
No fair.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
So, boy, you've had a hard weekend.
Yeah.
Sorry, brother. But you know, I am so glad you put this. Did you tech a lot this weekend?
I did a little bit of tech, did some work on my computer and stuff, just little stuff, but not too much. Trying to pack up and,
Yeah.
get stuff done. So, and matter of fact, Saturday, I just slopped out. I just
Really?
Yeah, we kind of slept in and just like laid around and did nothing all day.
I drove all day long.
Right to the end of the day. You drove? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm literally I'm trying to. My gosh, man, this is become. They make it so stinking hard. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I drove from Georgia. Well, I drove up to Georgia, left on Wednesday, got back last night, getting ready to turn around and go back Wednesday again and come back Friday.
Yeah.
Because I got a game Saturday for the Roadies. We're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs, baby. We're in the playoffs. Yeah, baby. I don't know if I guess I really don't call it. I didn't tech. I really did more like I was a grunt.
Yeah.
That's really ultimately what I was.
You know what? I did some low tech. I used a paintbrush, found some spots around the house, touched them up, those kinds of things.
Well, and that's what we, that's what we kind of need to do. All right, now we're up.
That's
and running.
low tech.
Low tech, yeah. I mean, me, it was unloading. Actually, so we found a studio in
Stu Studio.
yeah, Stu. I love that guy. Actually, I work with that guy. So we found a studio in Ringgold, Georgia. We're going to hold off on the cafe right now. Even though that would make me really happy because I love coffee, a lot of coffee. But it's downtown Ringgold, which is really situated between Chattanooga, Dalton, Rome, that whole little area there. Lookout Mountain, Battlefield Parkway. So all these people actually can come into us and actually be in the studio.
Okay, cool.
And the guy that I'm renting the studio from has a low watt FM station in literally the suite next to us, and we're going to probably wind up streaming and podcasting his
cool
the radio shows on there, which would be kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
we'll live stream them, and then
everybody just drives by and literally tunes in for about 3.5 seconds. And
the only hard thing about it is, and actually our Tech Shaman show may become a show on there.
Yeah,
we just can't say 4-letter words. He's very FCC compliant, and it's more of it's not Christian radio, but he's a very godly man, and he's like, no 4-letter words. I said, okay, darn it, I won't do that. Yeah, he kind of giggled. He got it, but so it's only problem is it's a second story, so getting all these set walls up to that second story.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm gonna hire people. I ain't doing it.
Yeah,
I'd rather pay a couple $100 and get it carried up there and put in place, and then I can put them up. They got to bring them up. You know what I'm saying?
That's too much. Too much.
I'm old. I'm so old. But anyway, so this first article that we're going to talk about, I'm glad you put. I thought I was going nuts.
Yeah, I've periodically seen it happen.
Oh, it is so the article is iPhone appeared to turn off while overnight, and if this happens to you, you're not alone, right?
Right.
So and it does. It's like every morning I wake up going, I have to put my.
So if you wake up and have to put your password in, that means that it had either rebooted throughout the night,
or updated,
or updated, or it's supposedly been turning off.
Yep.
And it's not like we know because we're sleeping, and but it's kind of odd that. What kind of feature is this? Is this a feature, a charging feature? And then, you know what? this may be the battery saver feature being turning itself on.
Right.
Which is, the battery feature is supposed to allow for the battery to go into a low, basically shuts down
Correct.
charging so that the device doesn't charge and it doesn't put too many cycles on your battery.
Yeah.
So it makes your battery last longer.
Supposedly.
But
until they're wanting to sell the new phones.
Well, then
and then they stick it to you again.
Who's to say they don't just, start cycling or turn the cycling feature off?
Right.
So, it's hilarious. They probably will have a graph that watches like everybody's phones in different time zones, and about that one time where the phones really kind of just stop responding, or stop sending data and everything. So they're probably just shut them off at that time.
Yep.
Just so that they could claim that they're, saving your battery life by using this wonderful feature that.
No, that's not what it is.
I mean, it's a little annoying, you wake up in the morning and you're like, you didn't turn it off, but it's, then maybe you just don't think about it because throughout the day, it never bothers you. You just at one time, but I guess nobody ever really paid attention to why it was happening. Now somebody did. And they got called out. So if you notice that it goes away randomly, then we'll know that Apple's like, oh, we've been found out. Then it's click that little check mark. No, do not turn off their phones.
Right. And it's funny, the minute it gets out in the public, they slam things down.
Oh yeah. This thing's
like,
quickly change, and it's
that was just an update.
This is a great feature
because once, have you noticed in the last 3 months, there has been probably 6 emergency updates.
Yeah, the emergency updates have really, really pushed quick, especially after us.
They're like, we found a bug.
17 had 3 quick emergency updates right away
because it was buggy. I did the you got me into doing the early. I'm the tester phase of the beta stuff. Dude, there was one thing in there that they finally fixed it, but if you were on Facebook and you were trying to respond, it got locked and you couldn't see your response.
Yeah.
You were just typing, and then there was no way to go send. You couldn't get to it anymore.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, I came off the betas only because I need a lot of the features of my phone to work, especially when I have when I have the authentication apps and stuff like that.
Yep.
I can't not have them work, or else I get locked out of my software packages. So I'm like, it was fun while it lasted. I could put my tablet on it, but I'm not putting my phone on it. I need my phone to work properly.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So but yeah, it's still buggy. There's still stuff that they're still trying to fix.
Yeah, I mean they'll figure it out. Probably after 17.1. We'll see a major change and some more stability.
That's what I figured too. So it is what it is.
Just in case you want to know, John, I got the new Apple Watch.
Ooh, how is it?
My watch broke. I had no choice. They wanted $349 to fix the watch. Look, and it was only $5 something to buy the watch.
Right.
So it's like, kind of like, do you do it? Do you not? But it is a bit faster. I will say it is a bit faster than the other one. This gimmick here is, basically you get a notification.
What's this?
Oh, I don't know if you paid attention to the keynotes, but when you get a notification on Apple Watch 9, even though the feature's there in accessibility, where you can scroll and do different things with your finger taps, there's in the Watch 9, they have one option tick for what they call double tap, which I believe that all the devices should have been able to do this, but if you turn on full accessibility, it makes it really difficult to use your watch. But if you turn on the double tap feature for, and everybody says all the watches had it.
Is it on all the watches?
It is and isn't. The accessibility feature is.
Yeah.
But then it goes deeper than just a standard double tap toggle.
How do you get to that?
Accessibility.
I'll have to go under and find it.
Yeah, you could probably get it through the phone too. But I will tell you that it's funny. You'll get like an email. You know how you get a message that comes across or an email, and then something comes behind it, but you can't see it because the other one's blocking.
Yep.
So you get an email and you just boop boop, and it closes it out, and then the next thing comes through.
Just go.
Yeah.
So how does it know?
And until I get a notification, it doesn't do anything. So when I get a notification, it automatically says.
But you have to go turn it on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But so it's I mean it's a quick little, it's gimmicky. It's not really a specific feature for the watch. But it is kind of like, real quick.
That would
It
be.
works.
I wish there was a way to like when you're scrolling through TikTok, and instead of you having to go like this,
Yeah.
there should be a
Look to the left, look to the right.
right
Swipe
something.
the air.
Just a.
Well, there's some stuff happening out there. So
so Apple rumors that claims that there's going to be a whole refresh on the iPads, and it's coming this week.
It's funny, they're talking about a refresh on the iPads, which they're only talking about the iPad Air, and the iPad Mini. So most likely CPU refreshes.
Well, no, iPad Air, iPad Mini,
right?
All three.
Yeah, but not the Pro. I'm looking for the Pro. I want to get the iPad Pro.
Do you
11-inch.
find that there's enough difference between the iPad and the iPad Pros to warrant that extra $600?
Only in regards to the CPU that I want. It has the new iPad Pro
11-inch, right?
No, it's the M2.
M2, sorry.
Which is in all the regular Macs, the MacBooks, the iMacs. I mean, come on.
What's that running right now?
Well, the one I want is like 1,100, I think.
Okay.
So, or 1,000. It's 1,000 because
it's
cellular, but it's like $799.
I'm gonna beat up T-Mobile, and I'm gonna get an iPad Pro.
Yeah. Well, I saw some people dock this thing, John, and I kid you not, they've docked it with 2 4K monitors.
No.
Oh, dude.
And it drove the monitors?
It drove the monitors. It was disgusting.
What?
It was disgusting. And then
how is that even possible?
And when you take the Magic Keyboard and throw it in there,
right?
The Magic Keyboard now turns it, and with iPad OS, it almost looks like a Mac. So the capability of this thing, and then now it's running the M2.
It doesn't drag it down.
It did not.
What?
It's like the ultimate portable computer. I mean, this thing is disgusting.
So it's driving. So technically, it's driving 3 monitors.
Yeah.
So,
but the M2, remember, the M2 is in the high end Macs.
That is true. That's
so
true.
I mean, they're capable. It's capable, and to drive this much power out of an iPad.
Right.
I mean, it's disgusting.
So why go buy an iMac?
Exactly. As a matter of fact, the new iMacs,
or a Mac Mini,
the new iMacs,
if
for
they
instance,
even have those anymore.
The logic board is literally just a small, about 3-inch, 2 to 3 inch strip of logic board across the base of the computer.
Okay.
I mean, it is nothing. It's just technically, it's almost as big as the same board in an iPad. I mean, it's nothing. The iPad is mostly battery.
Will the iPad? Okay, so will the iPad burn up? Will it get hot faster trying to run that? Because that's
there's not been any complaints out there. Nothing being said about the
drain the
11-inch.
battery.
Yeah, I like the 11-inch because it's not like the 12.9. It's just, I think it's just too cumbersome, too large. I mean, if you're an artist or something like that, maybe you're drawing on it.
Right.
I could understand, but the 11-inch is like the kind of like small, perfect size. You can still put it in your hand. I take my iPad Air. I have a newer iPad Air.
I'm used to having 11 inches in my hand, so it's okay.
John.
I know that was not right for Tech Shamans. That's a different show entirely.
So yeah.
Okay.
But I really like it.
And now, when's that coming out?
Well, that's already out.
Oh, it's already out.
Yeah.
So this won't be a refresh on that one. It's just
no. It looks like the refresh is not going to be on that. They haven't talked about it. They may not do the refresh on that one, the Pro models, until next year.
Okay.
Which is kind of So it's like, do I get it? My Air's still doing what I need it to do.
Yeah.
But the speed. And it has 5 gigahertz.
Is the iPad Air still portless?
No, I have USB-C on my Air.
C.
Yeah.
Okay. Just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one.
They all come with just one. Or my iPad, this little mini here it's got just a C.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're fine. But yeah, I mean, I want it only because it's faster and the expandability, the processing power of that thing.
Oh, that's massive, dude.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing. I'm sitting here, my brain still cannot wrap around it. It can run 2 4K monitors.
Yeah.
And be good.
That's
and not laggy.
blows my mind.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Yeah. So.
Well, while we're on, we're going to stick on Apple for a second here. And this is scary. After reading this, I'm like, well, that means that they can just look at. So Apple has come up with a way, right?
This is cool.
Update an iPhone while it's still in the package.
That is pretty awesome because you know what? Look, think about it. You take your phone, you turn it off. You ever turn off your iPhone? Plug it on the charger, or put it on the, even the wireless charging station, and it turns on automatically, right?
Yep.
So Apple has found a way to go ahead and utilize this service to not only turn on the phone while it remains in the box. We're not going to open the box. Apple stores literally can now update the phones on periodic updates that we would normally receive. And they would take and update the phone while it's in the box before getting it to the clients. So they don't have to open a box to do software updates. So for instance, your iPhone just gets made 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And you bought it today.
Right.
And a couple updates had passed.
Right.
Well, as a consumer, the first thing you want to do is open up your phone. You don't want to have to, or a device, you don't want to have to update it to the latest software. You want it to have the latest and greatest already done for you so you can just get to doing your thing.
Right.
Well, Apple's created the way where they can just take the box, rest it on a device that will, turn it on, update the device in the box, and turn it back off while it's in the box, and they just stick it back up on the shelf. I mean, that.
So if they're getting this advanced, that they're going to be able to also eventually just wherever your phone is, turn it on or off.
Well, I mean, technically they could. It just delete it from the server.
Right. But I mean, say you got your phone off, and you're doing things. The next thing you know, your phone's on.
Yeah.
And they're watching or listening. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty cool though.
But it is good that you get a phone that's completely 100% up to date.
Right.
When you open it out of the box.
And you don't have I will say about,
and is it quick?
Other big box companies
Yeah.
that will open, device boxes,
Yep.
load in their software, update, do all their stuff and repackage it and put one of their labels on it and say, yes, it was updated with all this latest and greatest stuff and pre-packaged for you, and we're going to tack on a fee for something that you didn't want done.
Okay.
So if you buy this computer, but to me, in a case like that, well, you opened the box. It is no longer a new device.
That's right.
Somebody put their grubby little hands on it.
Yep.
And did all this, service to it and then put it back in the box. How do I know they didn't break something in the process?
Yep.
Then I'm going to open the box and then you're going to tell me, no, I'm sorry, we can't do a refund on it because the screen was already broke before it, no, come on now. It don't work that way. Leave it closed, folks. Leave it closed.
Leave it alone.
And they can't sell it. When you buy a car, if there's a small scratch on it, boom, they can't sell it as new anymore. It's done.
Yep.
The car's done. They can't sell it at all.
Well, I'd buy it. I don't. Let's just fix it.
Yeah,
but I'll give you half of what it's worth.
Yeah.
Right. So, so this is interesting. Literally, this is how fast our world changes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, cheaper next gen Apple Vision headset will likely drop the EyeSight feature to save on cost. They literally were coming out with a great thing, and now they're kind of like, well, maybe we'll just save some money and not do.
Well, the thing is, the EyeSight feature was supposed to be like a little screen in the front that would show your facial expressions to other people.
I don't want them to see my I can see that.
That's kind of stupid.
It is kind of stupid.
So
stupid.
I mean, with the capability there, yes. Can we do it? Yes. Does it make sense? Not really. And I think I applaud them for kind of thinking outside the box. Well, you know what, we can do it, but they probably went back, did a little research, probably asked questions. Hey, would you be if you were wearing VR goggles, would you care to know whether or not somebody was mad at you or sad at you or anything like that? And they're probably like, no, why would I care?
Right.
you can already see see through it, and basically that was so you could see their eyes.
Yep.
It's it's not.
I want it to be as good as Ready Player One.
Well, it was pretty far up there, but again, when you have to put a OLED screen across the whole front of the thing, that panel is going to cost money.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to recoup that money. And then all the internals and stuff to power it. Why don't we just get rid of it? They probably saved themselves a good $150 to $200 in production costs
per unit.
Yeah.
So,
and when the price on these things come down, then it would make sense. If it was less than $50 to put the product back in there.
Well, is it actually $10?
Yeah, who knows?
Because that stuff doesn't cost that much.
Well,
we pay for stuff that they say is expensive, and we come to find out, that little piece costs you 11 cents, and you're charging $900 for it.
They're trying to get these devices down to a price point of between $1,500 to $2,500. So you got the EyeSight, probably the standard EyeSight, and then you have the EyeSight Pro.
Right.
So
they give you options.
And even so be the case, that kind of price point for this thing is way out there right now. When you're entering a market where, some of these products are nowhere near that price point.
Yep.
Even some of the high end Thrives, the HTC and all them,
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was gonna have to. So, like, we'll jump to MetaQuest is coming out with their Quest 3 now. It's gonna
come out with it.
It's out, and it's $200 more than the 2.
Yeah, which
means it's $1,700.
No, it's the 2 was $299 and $399 respectively.
Really?
Now the 3 is $499.
$499.
Yeah, $499, and I think $650 for like the higher.
I have someone in my house that is absconded with my Quest. So I'm gonna have to go get myself another one, I guess.
Well, if you do, get the 3, because I'll tell you right now, I've been watching some of the inside out videos of the 3 and the capability, and these are things that you weren't able to get until you got to the Pro version.
Oh, okay.
So this inside out feature,
right,
John, you just put them on,
right,
and they put 2 full color cameras on the front of it, so you can walk around in the regular world, and then they put a scanner on it that can do full room scan. Now with the Quest, what you had to do, the Quest 2, is if you want to do a scan and try to use AR with their black and white cameras, which was the most annoying thing because it kind of just ruins the whole effect. Plus the quality of the cameras were just really bad. You had to take your controller and draw a line around where everything was.
Oh, you had to do it yourself.
Yeah, you had to do it yourself. You had to get to the walls, do everything so it could build the 3D cube that you would be in. The holograph.
The hologram.
When you were in Star Wars,
the holodeck.
The holodeck. That's it. Yeah.
Holodeck.
You went into the holodeck, and that's what it was. So you had to build it. So now you just look around, and this thing doesn't just build lines. It takes little triangles, polygons, and starts placing them over everything in the room.
Okay.
So you got your furniture, you got your walls, everything.
So it really does map the room the right way.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I seen some games that these guys were playing. You can TikTok. You can watch, and you can watch the inside out of these things because they can record straight to the phone as the person seeing it. So you get to see it in live view, and they see the room, and one has like characters falling out of the ceiling. Literally, the ceiling starts just ripping apart, and a hole opens up, and just monsters come out. But the way the mapping is so precise that it just blows your mind seeing it. And another one was like kind of like a Call of Duty type game, or Tom Clancy game,
right?
Where your room door now becomes like an electronic door that opens and closes automatically, and it becomes a door, and this army guy comes through. He's got an AR in his hands and stuff like that, and you're hiding behind a console that's literally in the middle of your room, hiding there, and he comes in, and he's another character from another area.
Yep.
And he's looking for you, and you're hiding behind this council, and you can sneak up behind him and grab him,
Right.
and wrestle his gun away from him. Or they had like poker games where literally a poker table shows up in the room, and you're in your room seeing everything around, but you're playing poker with all your friends too at the table.
That's awesome.
The thing is that you can see your room and your environment and get up and do what you want to do.
So there's a way to output the actual
Yeah.
what you see or what
the Quest app.
Or is there an actual, because I'm thinking to myself, what a great way we could do a virtual show.
Yeah. The Quest app can pull the signal.
Can you build stuff inside this?
In the world?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they
So
have.
say if I wanted to build a studio.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, one of the keynotes for the Meta keynote where they were talking about it, they showed Zuck take and in his room, and it will permanently stay there. So you have your environment, you build your environment, and you put a 100-inch screen on the wall over here. You put pictures of your family on the wall over here.
Really?
You make your house in a virtual environment the way you want it.
And can invite people in?
Yeah, I wouldn't see why you couldn't, because
dude, we should build a studio.
In the Quest, in the Meta Quest, the world's environment, you can invite guests into your own home environment.
Right.
They didn't really make it so you can build it out. You kind of just picked the home that you had. You couldn't really.
But if we could build a studio in there and we have a thing where we're all sitting around it, and then add that output to our software that we stream through, dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That's killer.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the price. So if you get the Quest 3 with 128 gigs of storage, it's $499.
Yeah.
But if you get the 512, it's $649.
$649.
That's not bad.
No, considering what the the real deal stuff was
right
when it first come out. But for its capability, I think the worlds need to they do need to, I will say the game lineup and some of the virtual environments that they're talk about so much, there's just not enough there.
Yeah.
But I will say this marketing push for this device when it comes to social media has been huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. They literally just gave away these devices to so many different influencers out there.
Influencers. Are you an influencer, Adam?
Yes, I'm an influencer.
I know there's people that think they're influencers, but they're not.
Well, John, there's this really cool. This one guy says doing chores in the Meta Quest 3, and he's literally got the Meta Quest 3 on. He's in his kitchen, he's cleaning his counter, cooking food, stuff like that. And what he's done is he's taken a YouTube video and has it up. His TV's over here playing, and he can't see his TV from his kitchen. So what he's taken his TV and put it in virtual space.
You can do that.
Yeah. So he took it in virtual space. To show that he likes to watch in virtual space right above the left side of his stove. So he's doing all his house chores and stuff like that. And every time he turns around towards the stove, there's his TV stove there.
So wait a minute, you can see through the MetaQuest?
You see through it, John.
Oh, that's pretty damn badass.
It is. These are AR. These are full on AR now.
Okay.
So and they use the same glasses from the not the HTC. I forgot the other one. One that
Vive?
For Vive. Yeah, well, the Vive, they have some features of the Vive and stuff like that. They increase the processing power is it's 100% more powerful than.
Are you still hooked up by a cable?
No.
Okay.
No
Pure
cable.
wireless. Yeah. Two little hand thumbers.
They took the controllers. You got two options. You can because the tracking is so good now, you can track your own hands.
Nothing.
You don't have to use the controllers, but in the tracking world for the controllers back in the day, they had the ring around it. The ring was the tracking device. That's how they knew where the controllers were in space. They took the ring away.
Okay.
Because it could track them so well now.
Okay.
So they were able to take the ring away, and
cool.
they can track your full hand now.
Oh.
Because of the processing power is twice as fast as the original, and it has better clarity, higher resolution on the graphics.
Right.
It uses the pancake style lenses, which now they cut 40% of its out here length down to where it's now more pancaked, kind of like the Apple Vision Pros. So there's these some major changes, and I think they kind of rushed at the very end because they knew Apple was
Are you
doing
getting
it.
one?
I want to, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna. I'll talk to Mom
time to sell the 2 Quests and get a.
Because this would make it where we could literally do shows internally.
Oh yeah, you can do anything. They have, awesome. They have, they have a lot of productivity apps, meetings. You just have to find one that allows for you to build your
studio, virtual studio,
and hold virtual meetings and whatever you want to do.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then we just and you can invite random people. Hey, come on in for a thing, and we just have that's cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
And then we can output it and use it as a show.
Exactly.
I wonder if you're able to set up different camera angles.
That would be interesting.
See, I'm an angle guy because I don't want I don't want it to be seen from my perspective.
So you're gonna have everybody's perspective, like kind of. That's going to be difficult.
Or is there a way to set up, like, say, I want to put 3 camera angles in there, straight on, side, so like we're doing here in the studio. We have one camera here.
Well,
camera here and camera
like
here.
I said, in the Quest 2 now, there's a spot where you can take like a camera, regular webcam.
I want to see you do this. Okay.
So you could take a camera and take a selfie.
Really?
So, and then that selfie shows your face. So if you can take a selfie,
right?
What stops them from writing code to be able to put a regular camera, video camera in front and taking a shot of the virtual environment that's happening in front?
Yeah.
They can do it.
We can do it.
They can do it.
We can figure it out.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So enough with enough. Everybody's like, okay, guys, got to keep on. Carl, I got my pre-order. You can podcast as an avatar. Carl Young. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that, man. So we can do that. So right now, this guy, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know who Carl is, but thanks for watching, buddy. We appreciate it. So this next thing you sent in, I'm not I don't understand it. I guess I'm charging my toothbrush with wireless power over distance, and it's a trip. So explain this to me.
They're using laser, basically kind of like microwave technology.
Laser beams.
No, remember Tesla?
Do we have sharks?
Yes. You remember back in the day, Tesla said we should be able to transmit electricity wirelessly. And there's a couple people out there that, show it capable.
Right.
It's just about tuning in to the right frequency and being able to capture that same frequency on a receiver. They've done the same thing in a way, using pretty much laser beams, microwave type. It's more, it's kind of not like, laser kind of kill you stuff.
Right.
But the device would sit in the ceiling.
Okay.
They can transmit electricity up to 30 feet is what they said.
Okay.
And it will create a beam but whatever device as the receiver to receive the frequency and then charge the corresponding device that's hooked up to it would need to be in that line of sight.
Okay.
So if you have a bathroom, for instance, and you have your wireless toothbrush, your shaver, your electric shaver, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These kinds of things. And they have like a little panel on them that, picks up the invisible light radiation.
Right.
It will be able to then charge. And the gentleman he's testing it currently for the company. And he's, if you put your hand in front of the device, you're
blocking the charge.
You're blocking the charge and it stops charging. But if you move your hand away, it takes a few minutes. It'll start charging again. But the thing is, just think about the implications of this. You walk in your house, all your devices could be constantly being powered and charged in the future.
Right.
With this kind of a technology. There's more radiation running through our bodies, but no big deal. We all glow anyways.
Yeah, when you say you have a glowing personality, it means you're charging your toothbrush.
I thought this was a very interesting, very interesting article. Only because transferring electricity through thin air. over a distance. Well, we know about wireless charging.
Yeah.
Magnetic charging when you put something on something.
Right.
But now to be able to transmit that power wirelessly, and I think each puck that they put up there can transmit enough power to power like 10 toothbrushes. We're not talking a lot of power.
No, that's
but
minimal.
these are draining devices that really kind of suck power out of like your outlets. And you're taking 120 volts, you're bringing it down to 5-volt DC, 500 milliamps to charge your toothbrush.
Yeah.
Look at all that wasted power, for nothing. Now we're not knowing how much power these things would require and take to do this. But I think it's a cool thing, and just a convenience factor.
So yeah, I mean, in your bathroom, on your kitchen, or your bathroom sink, or your vanity, whatever you want to call it, if you have these, modules that your toothbrush goes into, your shaver, like my electric shaver goes in there. Yeah, that would be convenient. Because what's the one thing that clutters up our sinks and stuff like that is all the cables that are running everywhere to outlets.
Exactly.
I can see it. And I would be good with it. I don't know why we did, well, I know why, because they went, Tesla was going, hey, this should be free. And back then there was no true way to meter it. So if there was a way to meter it and go, oh, this is how much you use, this is what we're going to charge you. Oh, the power companies would have been on it in a heartbeat. I mean, they're just like that.
Well, anybody within a radius was able to set up like receivers to pick up the power that was being transmitted across the that receiver's range.
Yeah.
Or the globe, depending on,
Right.
But yeah, and it's funny to look back at how far back a lot of these technologies and these theories came about.
Well, if we're going to go that far, then we're going to go all the way back to before the Egyptians, because
when the wheel.
Well, the Anunnaki put the pyramids into the ground, because those weren't built by the Egyptians, right?
They're upside down diamonds,
right?
Folks.
And then those tops were supposed to be electrical, and they were supposed to power everything across the globe, because they're all orientated in that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we can literally go back that far if we really want to get down to theory. I mean,
who invented the wheel?
Right.
But, just to see changes, and like
huge,
and some of the stuff that comes about in today's world, how we have some people that money is such a big driver, of watching things, technology.
And that's
change.
why, I mean, I think there's
a lot more people open to different ideas now.
Well, I got friends right now that are doing hydrogen engines.
Yeah.
Joey over there at West Coast RV, that dude has converted one of his vehicles to run on hydrogen.
Wow.
I mean, and so to me, we should have been. But again, because water is free, have you ever noticed? I'm on a bunny trail real quick. You remember money that we, growing up, we didn't drink out of bottles. Well, our freaking faucets.
Yeah.
I mean, in the water
hose outside, you were playing outside. You had no choice, and I mean, it always tasted
garden
like
hoses, and I'm still here.
It's had that vinyl taste, it's so good.
I liked it.
Yeah,
kind of it gave it flavor.
It's even more awesome when it was sitting in the sun and you turn that on.
That was so good.
And you let your siblings grab it first.
Yeah. Exactly. It's hot. Well, that was your shower.
It was either hot or it was always hot or it was always cold, and it's like, come on, and then somebody had to spray you.
Yep.
And then you were yelling, and then next thing you know, everybody was fighting.
So I don't know if you put this. I was gonna put this in here, but I think
you had to, John. This is a big thing.
So Comcast cable internet with 2 gigabit uploads is rolling out soon. So Comcast cable service will soon support up to 2 gigs up and down.
Up and down.
They're going to start in Colorado Springs. So here's something. Because
Colorado needs it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. In Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Close to where we're going to be, they are becoming a 10 gig city.
John, the reason
up and down, brother.
I know, but the reason why this was so awesome is not because of its speed. But the fact that the technology was able to push this over coax.
Oh, really? It's over copper?
This is over copper. This is not over fiber. This is not fiber, John. This is using an existing infrastructure to push 2 gig up and 2 gig down over coax copper. That's why it has made a lot of
That's
sense.
huge.
That is huge because, the small increments that we make today, I will tell you that our upload over copper has never ever reached these kinds of
300,
speeds.
400 at the best.
You get 20 meg. We get a gig down and 20 megs up.
That could be better.
It can be better. It can be a lot better.
Fios, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but Verizon, when Fios was Verizon, we had them at one of our studios in Newport Richey downtown. And even on copper, we were getting 200, 300 up. And we were paying for the gig service. Gig up, gig down.
Right.
So on copper, we were getting 300 up. We never got the gig up.
Yeah,
ever. And you're never going to.
Well, that's why I said
until now, which now you can get 2 gigs up.
Well, the thing is like I can just I would be able to get real internet at my shop. I mean,
unlike your home, which you do have real internet.
I have real internet at home. I got 1 gig up, 1 gig down.
That's awesome.
$45. I mean, hey, but over here I'm paying over $100, and I got 300 down and 10 up.
Woo! I do better with my T-Mobile. I hate to say that.
I turned on my hotspot when they were working on my network, and I got my 50 up on my hotspot from my iPhone.
Right.
And I'm sitting here going, but there's others. I need to be able to manage some of the outputs on that modem that they give you.
Yeah.
So I need to open ports and things like that. So but again,
just to know that they can do it now,
to know that they're
absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, that is phenomenal. And so be on the lookout in the near future, probably within the next year or so. Our cable providers will be able to upgrade your internet speeds. And they're not going to do, 2 gigs. No, they'll probably do 1 gig up, 1 gig down. Right. It's going to probably be $199 a month.
Of course.
But the capability, knowing that the technology is there, using old tech and new tech, because copper can only do a limited number of bands on the technology.
Correct.
And that's where, it's kind of like your channels, But think about it this way, John. If they switch to the streaming services, instead of using the cable boxes, they use IPTV type setup.
Well, okay, so Spectrum, according to my buddy at Spectrum, they're getting ready to do away with the boxes.
Right.
You're strictly going to have a little. Matter of fact, they started rolling the commercials out. I don't know if you've noticed, but and I forgot what the stupid name is, but it looks like an Apple TV, right? That's what they want you to go with. And when you get it, it comes preloaded with the Spectrum app, right?
Yeah,
so they want you away from the boxes.
Well, yeah, because think about it. If it's just the internet, okay,
right?
They have their channels already set aside. Their bands on that coax.
Yep.
So they already have it set aside for internet, and it never was that big to begin with. But imagine if you took all the regular channels and the stupid music channels and all that other stuff,
crap off
of it, and opened everything up and said, we are strictly an internet service provider.
Yep.
And now cell phone service. And
which sucks.
Yeah. And they're a T-Mobile MVO.
I love T-Mobile.
Yeah, I don't know.
T-Mobile rocks. I mean, I'm telling you, I love AT&T. It's
T-Mobile rocks until you read the
okay. So let's go to that. So we're gonna get back. So here's the thing. I'm gonna put this out there right now, and I'll read it. So we're not doing a show next week because I'm out of town, and I think you're coming back from a cruise, right?
No,
you're not. No, that changed
further
out. Okay. So, but we're gonna do a pre-scary show on the 30th. That'll be and you know what, Adam? That'll be our last show.
30th?
Yeah.
That's when I'll be gone.
You won't be here on the 30th? Damn it.
will be a pre-unscary. That's what's going to be so scary about it.
When are you leaving?
The 29th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do a pre-record show the week of.
Oh,
But anyway, and that's going to be our last show until February.
All right.
Because we're literally November, December. In November, December, we're tearing the studio down, getting it moved up to Georgia, and then you and I will be Zooming our shows starting in the beginning of February. That'll give us, because December and January is just, they're such weird months.
Yeah.
So let people go do their thing. And but anyway, let's move on. So T-Mobile. So I read this, right? And I called my buddy at T-Mobile this morning and I asked him about this. He says, here's the reason they're doing it. Okay. So it could be up to either $5 or $10 per line.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing is the biggest complaint from anybody that has so-called unlimited phone service, right? Is the fact that you get at a certain point when you hit your data, right? You get throttled. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest complaint. So what they're doing is they're just charging you that $5 or $10 more per line and no more throttling.
So technically what they're saying is if you bitched too much to customer service about your internet speed, they're raising your prices. And therefore, they don't have to comp you anything. They're just going to say that
you can stay on the old plan.
Yeah.
They said you can stay on it if you want to, but you'll be throttled.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
And the thing is, my plan that I was on is a 10 gig plan originally. And then later on, they said, just to let you know, we're taking that plan away. It's going to be the same price, but we're making it unlimited.
Yeah.
Which
no throttling.
But I'm not bothered by it anyways. But I would hope that they never take away my plan because, John, I have 3 lines that are free right now that I don't pay for.
Yep.
I have every line that I do add is $20.
So let me tell you the deal. I don't have time for this. Let me tell you the deal because I'm AT&T personal and I'm with T-Mobile for business. And so I went to them and I said, hey, here's what I got. So in my house, we have 3 lines, an iPad, and my watch, right? So that's 5 lines.
Right.
And I'm running a 13 Pro Max. Cage is on a 12 Pro. My wife is on a 10, 11, just an 11. They're going to give everybody the 15 Pros. I'm going to go to a Pro Max. They give me a new iPad, a new watch. Won't cost me anything. And my bill, because I'll be on the new T-Mobile plan, less than $180.
Beautiful.
Dude, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
I mean, right now I'm $400 a month with freaking AT&T.
Yeah.
And so now I should call AT&T. This is what I'm getting at T-Mobile. Can you beat it?
They'll say no.
They'll say no.
That's
and
right.
I'm like, okay, see you later.
Yeah.
And then I'll just move everything over. I'll port everything over. And,
I think Verizon's got some changes in their pricing structure that has really come in line finally.
Yep.
And I do know that they have a thing going on right now that you can upgrade to the iPhone 15 Pro and pay nothing. And they'll let you trade in anything in any condition.
Yeah.
Any condition.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's what it was. But
I have a problem with it. They're
Did you know that
they're horrible.
Did you know
Their
that
service sucks.
their phones do not come locked to their service?
No, they do not.
After 90 days, they're automatically unlocked.
I do know that.
Yep. And you can use them wherever, however, don't matter.
Right.
Because they're going to follow you for the rest of your life if you screw them over.
Yeah, exactly. So remember the antitrust?
Yeah.
Google's antitrust. So really is going to change your search habits.
Yes. It just means that Google's going to be in a different location called Google.
The Google.
Google.
It'll be the Google. And it's just gonna hammer you.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's not gonna make it better.
No, it's not. It's gonna be odd. It's going to, there's going to be a lot of, well, are you going to give us a right to do this? Can we do this?
Yeah.
You know,
they have to ask now.
Now they have to ask
questions, a lot of permissions.
And who knows? You may be limited to the results that you start receiving as well, which means that, if you're not getting the results that you wanted, you can blame some of the, antitrust. And you know what? Some of it is a long time coming. I don't know. 'Cause some companies, they just get too big for their britches. You know what I mean? And they start trying to, if I want to run an ad and say I want to spend, X amount of dollars, this bidding situation for ads is ridiculous.
Yep.
If I want to spend this amount of dollars to show my ad, there's enough space out there. It's not like you have a limited number space on the internet.
Right.
So if I want to show my ad and I only want to spend $3.50 a day, let me spend $3.50 a day.
Yep.
Your campaign is limited by your budget. It's telling you.
Yep.
Raise it to $29 a hit. What do you mean? Not everybody, just because I run an ad, not everybody's going to be coming to see me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then there's your competition out there that will drain you.
Yeah.
They literally will go drain you.
And then you have competition that makes deals on the back end. Larger corporations make deals with like Google and stuff like that and say, I want to be exclusive. And then these larger corporations will rewrite rules to say, well, if you're a third-party support company, you can't show ads because we have this company over here, Assurion or whoever, is giving us, millions and millions and millions of dollars in ad revenue, and they said so. And so they make up these mundane, rules that don't really make any sense, and they use the guys that they're trying to keep you safe.
Right.
And the next thing is like, for instance, the service provider categories, carpet cleaning, things like that. Oh, now you have this whole new section of that they can make money off of by saying, we're going to guarantee their services. If they screw up, we're going to have a little insurance policy.
Right.
Get out of it. This is not your forte. You are an advertising company. I want to run an ad. You tell me the cost of the ad. We run that particular ad. It's not this, the price is going to be here this week. The price is going to be there that week. It's going to be different this day. This is getting ridiculous.
Well, it's just like the credit bureaus. Used to be the credit bureaus were there to protect us, right?
No, they're there to sell us credit cards now.
Now, that too. Now they're there to sell our data.
Of course.
So I want to speak to a class action lawsuit attorney and say, all right, so if you're going to sell my data, but I don't want you to do, you can go opt out. But if you're going to sell my data, I want a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
If you're going to make money off of me, then I want to be paid.
Oh,
or I want to opt out of your system and don't ever put me on there again.
And that wasn't the whole reason why the Social Security numbers were created to begin with.
That's correct. Now it's you're making money off them. But if you're gonna make money off me, I want to make money.
They
off
were
me.
never supposed to be designed as a way of
they were not
identification.
No, they were not.
No.
They were strictly supposed to for financial establishments to better find out whether or not you're credit worthy for a loan or not. That's it. And really, eventually, and really back then they really weren't supposed to be for that. But anyway,
yeah, back in the day, they were just supposed to be for where your retirement funds were supposed to come into when you retired, and that was the end of it.
Yep.
And
now you can't opt out because if you opt out, you can't get any credit.
Yeah,
which is crap. So last thing we're going to talk about is, and I said this. Oh my God, I said this 2 years ago. Cars are a privacy nightmare on wheels. So So if you have a smart car, that has internet, right? That means the manufacturer is tracking you. Whether you signed up for it or not. So like in my Ram, I have the ConnectWise, right? I let that thing go because first of all, I'm not paying $400 a year for 4G. That ain't happening. And I can run a hotspot in there and do better. But even if you don't pay for that, they can still track your information on your vehicle, which means they can turn around and sell that information to people around you, as well as since they have your VIN number, right? They can actually track and find out who your insurance carrier is and say, hey, insurance carrier, this guy's driving really good or this guy's driving like an ass.
Right.
So Here's his information.
Forget about credit worthiness on your insurance policy for your car.
Nope.
Now we're going to track your driving habits.
Yep.
Oh, were you
starts
really,
too fast, brakes too heavy.
You know, the 12,000 miles he says he drives a year is false. He really drives.
IRS can now have that information.
I'm sorry. No, I was trailering my vehicle the whole time behind my old 78 Plymouth.
And on top of that, it's, and then the one that's got all the like multi-cameras in it.
Oh, forget about it.
Oh, dude. So if you have a car, we're running out of time. If you have a car that's got all those cameras, it's recorded. It's recording at all times.
It's recording live at all times, yeah.
So you don't have to worry about putting a camera in your car to look for accidents. You should be, if you get an accident, you got a car that's got all those cameras in it, you should say, I need that footage, please. You come up, say, I need the footage because I got hit and I need to prove it was me. Because they recorded it at all times.
Yep. Now you just subpoena.
It's calling back to the mothership. And if they tell you they're not doing it, they're lying out their butts.
Of course.
Yep. So that is a privacy nightmare. And you can imagine you're a young teenager, you got your girlfriend in the car and you're out there messing around and blah, blah, blah. Guess what just got recorded and sent back to mothership?
Yeah, your parents get on the.
Oh, by the way,
John, get home.
Get off her. Get off that girl. You're going to be, seriously. I mean, that's a thing.
Those seats are not even protected, John.
Right. There's no covers on those seats. Get off that girl. But yeah, I mean, you are losing so much privacy. We're not private anymore. Anyway, we got 10 seconds. We're not going to be here next week, but we'll be here the week after. And that'll be our last show. It'll be our last for at least for a couple of months. Everybody, than's for watching. We appreciate it. Everybody, a techie week. We'll see everybody in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.
Great weekend, guys.